What's up, comic book community? My name is Joe, and this is 360 Comics. Recently, I've bought a ton of big comic book collections, 30 long boxes, 11 long boxes, 17 long boxes, but I also do pick up smaller collections as I did this week. So we're going to take a look at a small collection. I think it was just 14 books. I paid $235 for it. It was more focused on the key issues. So let's see what I got and see if it was worth it. You have less than 1 week left to enter our double slab giveaway, so if you want to win these two books, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Go check out our video from last week entitled Double Slab Giveaway. Make sure you like the video and also leave a comment on it with your favorite interesting fact about DC Comics and your favorite interesting fact about Marvel Comics. I'll be picking a winner next Wednesday live on Instagram, so make sure you get in before then. Good luck. Like I said, this collection was on the much smaller side, only about 14 books, but they were mainly keys and everything was in really high grade. The collector who sold me these said that he really only collects 9.8s and he's very specific on that. So these books did not quite make the cut in his opinion to go get sent off to CGC, but they certainly are high grade. Pretty much all, actually definitely all of them are in the 9.0 plus range. Some of them possibly even in the 9.4, 9.6, and maybe even with a little bit of luck, a 9.8 after a press and clean. So we're going to have to say maybe one book gets sent off to CGC. We're going to have to go through it and determine that at a later time. But first up here, couple non-keys that were in here. Wolverine number 67. It's a newsstand. It's a great cover, but it's not a specifically sought-after issue. Probably has a value of about $5. Same thing with this right here. Web of Spider-Man. Again, high-grade newsstand, awesome cover, but not a key. Nothing really significant about it, so probably about a $5 value there. Moving on to some of the keys, quote-unquote. This one, not really a key. It's just an awesome cover. Nothing happens in this book that's super significant, but this is the first of the Gleason Webhead variants that came out last year. He did Spider-Man, actually 3 printings of it. This is the second printing, which is red. First printing's white. Third printing's blue. He also did a Carnage one, which actually we're going to see in a second. Venom and a bunch of the Goblins, and a similar one. It wouldn't exactly call it a Webhead variant because it's Black Panther, but it is in a similar style. So anyway, we were talking about this just a second ago. But by the way, even the second printing of this holds value at over cover price, kind of between $5 and $10 over the last year. Same thing with this book, Carnage, Black, White, and Blood, #1. If you remember a video that I put out, I don't know, 6 months to a year ago, I picked up like 70 some copies of this and I still have a bunch of them. They do sell very nicely. People buy them, but, you know, getting through 70 some copies is going to take still a little bit of time, but we'll add these to the pile as well. There were 2 of them in there. Really awesome cover, and definitely going to send some of the ones that I have off to get graded because I need a 9.8 for my personal collection. Moving on to some Venom. This is Venom number 151, and this is a Mary Jane as She-Venom variant. Actually, I don't know if this is a variant. I think this is actually just the cover, right? Oh, no, this is a variant. Sorry. This is the Mary Jane variant. As it says at the top, this is an awesome cover. This book definitely had some more value during the comic boom, but has since come down. Nonetheless, this is definitely a character, both Mary Jane and Venom, that people like to collect cover appearances of, and hands down an awesome cover. Almost like an homage with the holding the spider skull. Almost like an homage to that Eric Larson cover. I think it's ASM 300, might be like 345. I forget the number, but it's similar to that. Obviously, that one is a lot more zoomed in, and this one is a lot more realistically stylized, but definitely a really cool cover. Then we've got Venom number 25. This is the first appearance, I believe, in cameo of Virus and Codex, if I'm remembering that correctly. I might be wrong, but check on that on Key Collector if you're not sure. This is the Bagley third printing variant. Anytime Bagley is drawing symbiotes, it's going to be something that people collect. He's probably, other than, honestly, even up there with Larson and close to Todd McFarlane, Bagley is kind of known as a, artist of the symbiotes, whether it be Carnage or Venom. But definitely some good stuff out of him. Then we're on to some of the other keys. This one, an older book. We've had a lot of modern stuff in here, but Silver Surfer number 35. This is the issue after Thanos is resurrected. He's got this great cover appearance here with Silver Surfer as well. People collect Thanos covers. That is, Thanos is like the big bad of the MCU. He's a character that has exploded in popularity in the last 10 years. And even beyond that, there aren't a lot of cover appearances of the character or appearances in general of the character prior to like the 90s. So this is one of them. I think this was late 80s. Maybe it was squeaking into 1990. Yeah, this was actually 1990, but whatever. Still, Copper Age book. Then we've got a better one here. This is Captain America 333. This is the issue where John Walker takes over as Captain America. And a lot of people were kind of speculating on this for the MCU, I believe. But, it turns out John Walker seems like he's going to be staying as U.S. agent going forward as the Thunderbolts team is put together. But the character is still relevant. This is definitely still a relevant book. Not as hyped up as it used to be, but certainly still holding value. Same with this book here. This one spiked up really high and has since settled a little bit, but this one settled a lot less. And I think that settling has more to do with just the comic book market coming down rather than people losing hype on this character. This is the first cameo appearance of Bishop, but in my opinion, it's a full appearance. Not only is, he on the last page and, I believe, if I remember correctly, there is dialogue, but he's also like the centerpiece of the cover. So even though he is not in the story entirely, he's only on that last page, this cover appearance really does it for me. His name's even on the cover. So I consider this the first appearance. A lot of other people do call this the first cameo appearance and the very next issue. But either way, the market has dictated the value of this book is a lot higher than the first full appearance in the next issue. So this is the book to get for Bishop, even if it's considered a cameo. Either way, this is a book that I have tons of copies of because I am big on this character and would love to see him utilized in the MCU. Same thing with this guy right here. X Factor number 24, first appearance of Archangel. Kind of the rebirth of an older character. We had Angel since the 1963. His first appearance is in X-Men number 1. From what I can see, he was never really a popular character. Not one that was really, really focused on. He did have his origin run in the Silver Age, but nothing really important and really significant happened with this character until this moment right here where he was killed. He was resurrected by Apocalypse as one of the 4 horsemen and renamed Archangel, all that stuff. And this is the character that I grew up with. In fact, I didn't even know there was an Angel prior to Archangel because I grew up with the animated series where most of the time he appears as Archangel, if I'm remembering correctly. I think there's an Apocalypse episode, and I don't even know if he appears as just regular Angel prior to that. I gotta go back and watch that animated series, especially before the reboot or continuation of that comes out, X-Men 97. I think that's slated for next year at some point. I'm not really sure. Anyway, the last couple ones here, we got a couple more, including one rather nice key. This one is another book that was way up and has come way down, but is still a significant key. I think it is bottomed out personally. This is the first appearance of Omega Red, X-Men number 4. And the reason I say this is bottomed out, this pretty typically was always a $15 book. 5 years ago, before any super hype around comics, this was a $15 book. It has gone up, and it was actually Raws. I saw Raws selling for $70, $80 at the heights, which is kind of crazy. I think 9.8s were hitting $400. Hopefully you didn't buy it then because it has come down and is worth significantly less now. In fact, Raws and high grades sell between $20 and $30. And 9.8s, I'm not sure exactly where they are, but I think they're around $200. So that being said, if it's bottomed out at $20, $25, I would think that's a bottom because, like I said, this was always a $15 book, and the market has kind of bottomed out higher than where it was prior to the pandemic. So I think this is kind of what it's worth, $20, $25, $30 for a nice high grade one. I have a bunch of copies of this as well, including some 9/8s, because I'm big on this character, grew up with this stuff in the 90s, so hopefully we will see him eventually in the MCU. Then we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 212. This is a book that I've talked about in my speculation videos. There was some rumors around this character coming to the MCU in Spider-Man Far From Home, the second Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, and that all had to do with the trailer where we saw a big turned out to be just a water elemental, from Mysterio. It was not Hydro Man, but a lot of people thought it might be. So this book, boom, went up in price when that happened. And the movie came out, it wasn't Hydro Man. It came crashing down and has just kind of like held its normal value. I think this is an undervalued book, in my opinion. Not telling you to go out and buy it. Do your own research. Do what you want to do with your own money. But 9/8s are pretty affordable of this book. High grade raws are pretty affordable of this book. It's one that I am personally holding on to. I probably have 20 copies of this book at this point. On to the last one. This is the biggest book of the collection, and so far, this does not justify the $235 price tag, but maybe this book will change your mind about that. This is Secret Wars number 1, and as mentioned before, everything in this collection really high grade. There's a little tape up here that's on the bag and board. It's not a rip or anything on the book. But this is Secret Wars number 8, origin story of the Black Suit, one of the most important Black Suit issues, honestly, right behind the first appearance of the Black Suit in ASM 252, and iconic cover. Absolutely, love it. I have a shirt with this cover on it because I love this cover so much. But either way, super, super high grade. I'm thinking that this one particularly is a 9.4 or 9.6. Now, if you look at the value of recently sold, 9.6s have been kind of around $350. 9.4s have been kind of a little bit lower than that, like $280 to $300. So that is what dictated the price of this collection. And I did not get like a steal of a deal here, in my opinion. And you can, tell me in the chat what you think about this purchase, because some people would actually say, maybe you overpaid a little bit. There's not a lot of room for me on this collection. But one, I think a lot of these books have some potential, like I spoke about, to go up. Two, they're all, not all, but most of them are keys, especially the last, 10 of them or so. And they're decent keys as well. A lot of first appearances of pretty important characters. And three, the grades of these books. All of these books are 9.0 plus for sure. Look them over. They look really, really nice. Some of them possibly sending in to get graded. This one is the only one that I think I know I'm going to send in to get graded. The rest of them, not so much. Just because most of the rest of the books, you really need a 9.8 for it to be worth, the time and money spent to grade. So, even if they get the 9.6, I'm probably going to be kind of at a break-even point as opposed to just selling it raw. So I would rather just sell it raw. To me, it's better to move things raw, and that way someone else can take a crack at it. And, maybe they'll get the grade that they want, and everyone's happy that way. But either way, this one definitely going off to get graded. There are very, very few issues with this book, like I said, and I think that some of them can be pressed out. I could see this book on a good day getting a 9.8. 9/8 of this book sell for about $600, so that would be absolutely phenomenal. This would have been like a home run at that point, but I don't really see that happening. I think more than likely this would get a 9.4 or a 9.6. Either way, even $30 for grading plus the $235 I paid for this collection. This book alone at a 9.4, 9.6 will be a slight profit on the whole collection, and then the rest of the stuff is just gravy, just a little added bonus on top. But really, like I said, I paid a little bit more than I normally would. In order to get this collection, because I thought it was stuff that would move very well and would get people excited in the claim sales and stuff like that. Also, given that this guy was local, I made a good connection there. That's really, really important when trying to grow, a business or, relationships with the community. He will likely come back to me if he has other stuff to sell, or if he's looking to buy some things. Hopefully he'll hop into my claim sales or, show up to Back Deck Comic Fest or something like that. We did exchange numbers, so that, leaves that potential there. So, that's not always the case. I'm not always willing to come up higher than I'm comfortable with. This one I did, but, I think it will not only pan out, profit wise or whatever. There's no way I'm losing money on this purchase. I won't profit as much as I normally would off of buying something like this, but also there's that added bonus of, getting to know this guy and hopefully doing business with him in the future. Anyway, that's it for this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. Check out our double slab giveaway video for your chance to win the 2 books I showed earlier. And if you're in the Philadelphia area, this Saturday, that's December 3rd, actually tomorrow, if you're watching this video on the day it was released, Saturday, December 3rd, I am setting up and selling at Upper Darby High School. I'll be there with my buddy Pope of Chillytown, and Collecting Dude is also setting up with sports cards, comics, and stuff like that. I'm just doing comics, so is Mike, but we got a ton of stuff, and we're going to be there. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, come by Upper Darby High School. I posted the information on Instagram, so you can check it out there. And of course, stay tuned on Instagram as well, because we're doing claim sales on a regular basis. In fact, I'm doing one in just a couple hours. So if you're around, we'll see you there tonight. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.